In 2003, we invaded Iraq for the suspicion of weapons of mass destruction. I have interviewed Mr. James Williams to discuss with us the events that occurred in 2003. He got most of his information from my uncle, who was a part of the invasion as part of their medical staff.
Invasion of Iraq. We were in search of weapons of mass destruction, that is, the U.S. government and our coalition forces. We were led to believe that there were weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein was going to use either against his own people or against us in some type of act of terrorism. Part of the fear of the terrorism was the strike that had happened to the Twin Towers in New York City on September 11th, 2001. And with that fear, the Bush administration was able to go in and actually launch what I would consider an illegal war against another sovereign nation in search of what he called weapons of mass destruction. Once we invaded those countries, we discovered that there really was no weapons of mass destruction, and the things that Iraq would no longer arm itself with these weapons, so-called weapons of mass destruction, were never proven. How does this change America today as a whole? That whole process of do we trust, do we believe in our fellow men, do we trust, do we believe in our immigrants, do we trust, do we believe in our Muslim neighbors? Do we trust or do we believe that everybody that is of a certain color, of a certain religion, of a certain sect, or certain sexual orientation is indeed our enemy? And it has led to the current political stance that we have now, where a lot of people that are simply of prejudice and hate simply because my skin is darker, or because I say Allah instead of God, or I go to church on Thursday instead of Sunday, or celebrate Kwanzaa instead of Christmas. It has led to what I would consider the destruction and the deunification of the United States of America. But then again, keep in mind, this is just my humble opinion. Anybody that argues any type of intellectual thought or is capable of thinking can only look in and say, we gained absolutely nothing from that war, and everything that we did have was losses, human life losses. And those lives that were lost, unfortunately, they weren't those rich Republican kids and the senators' kids. They were the poor working class Americans that have done nothing but support this country, that love this country. We lost. Because in no war does anybody ever win. The real winner comes in figuring out how to resolve our differences like men and not like animals fighting over a berry bush.